Hey friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today I'm going to be adding a little bit of charm to this little space right here. If you remember back in probably January, late January, maybe the first part of February, I went out and I purchased those cedar posts, put a fence in the backyard. Well, I still have some leftover pieces. We're going to pop that in that little space. We're going to plant that honeysuckle on there. That'll give it some place to kind of grow and hang, and then it'll add a little bit of color into that space. And then we're going to go through and mulch, and then I've got a lot of plants right through here, a lot of pretties. We're going to go through, we'll throw some names up on it and just kind of give you a little bit of a tour. But right now the sun is beating down on this side of the house. This is the west side. It's about 5 o'clock here, so by the time I'm all done, get the post anchored in, the plants planted, I think we could probably call this a done deal. And then we'll just see how fast something so small can turn a little corner of your garden space into something really nice. So that being said, I'm going to start digging some holes, and we'll see how this whole little project kind of turns out. Let's get started. Okay, before I go any further, I want to show you a little trick I use. It's nothing I've come up with. It's something I've learned over the years, but a little trick I use to keep the mulch in place. There are some little fibers to most of your mulch when they chip in it and whatnot, so it kind of holds it in place, but there is a little thing that I do with the soil that will help kind of mound it in. So let me show you what I do here at our garden. Doesn't mean that's what everybody does. It's just something I do. Okay, generally wherever I'm laying my mulch, I'll come straight down. Most people use a straight shovel. Sometimes that's just not in the works, especially when I'm trying to get this done. So I'll just come down here And I'll just go down about 3 inches, 4 inches maybe. Then I can rough it up afterwards. So this grass has this little plastic liner in here that they put down when they built this, and so it's really a booger. Can you see that? Let me see. Can you see that? So that's what they do so the soil doesn't erode away when they plant these up, and so it's all over the landscape. I try to get it and get it out of the garden so that little birds and whatnots don't get it around their neck. I'm not sure if they still do that today, but it's an annoyance to me. Okay. It should be a lot simpler than that, but that fabric, like I said, that little netting that they put there, it's not a pleasant thing. I'll throw all this in the trash, get my other camera, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, that should give you a pretty good indication of what we're working with. So straight down and then at an angle. So now that soil will butt up against that wall that I've created in there. And that's what I do. Okay, I've got this Drop More honeysuckle. I picked this up from Walmart. The package was busted and it fell over, so they discounted it for us. And so now I'm bringing it home. It does say that it will get 20 feet tall, obviously, if I allow it to grow that way. Otherwise, this is why this rail's a little bit higher than I would like. In a few years, you won't be able to tell anyways. It'll just be a clump of this with some specks of the cedar fence poking through. That'll give it its charm, but for right now, as this grows up, it will continue to just kind of build on top of itself. So I'm not worried about it attaching to the wall. It doesn't have those aerial roots that attach to the wall. I'm not worried about it running off anywhere. This spot that I'm in, you could probably see the lighting. So I've got this Japanese bloodgood right here, but behind me I have a straight shot of evening sun. So this is going to get probably no afternoon sun for the most part, or morning sun, but man, it's gonna bake in the evening time, which is fine. Probably from about 3 o'clock on, it's just gonna be absolutely in a sweet spot for it, and it's gonna be up against this house, so I have no concerns. The beautiful part about this is not so much the blooms, it is pretty, but it's the idea that it brings in butterflies and hummingbirds, and I think that'll add some of the charm to it. And yes, of course, these blooms, I'll zoom in as I get closer to revealing the rest of the garden right here, but this is going to be a really nice addition. And it's not one that's got any odor, unfortunately, but nope, it's not a double check just to ensure, but yeah, no, this will be a really good addition, and it'll cover up the back window. So when you walk back here, you will have layers upon layers that will distract you from the air conditioner unit, the dish network piece up here, and then the window. So that's further down the road, of course, but for right now, we'll get it planted, get it watered in. Okay, I know the action is back there, but I wanted to show you this black lace elderberry. That is so fun. So if you can imagine, in just a few short years, it's gonna come up here and it'll blend in. I'll have like a little tunnel right here to walk under. I cannot wait. And then we're gonna duplicate the same thing with our Japanese maple, that bloodgood there. It's gonna be an awesome addition. Right now, I'm so happy with it. I know it stands out just a little bit, and that's okay. Once all of this, once this honeysuckle really kind of just takes hold, it's gonna be a year or two, and I'm okay with it. It'll probably be, let's be real, probably 3 years, right? First year you sleep, second year you creep, third year you leap, that's right. So in 3 years, which is no time at all, in the idea that I'm not gonna sit back here waiting for it to grow, I'll move on about other things and then we'll come back here and it'll just be really awesome. But this is just gonna be so cool when it comes in here and then it starts layering on top. And so what we said for the height, all it will do is just continue to grow on top of each other. We'll trim it back a little bit. I still wanna expose some of the cedar posts there, but I think really, really soon we'll have a really another piece of good addition to this. And then here, of course, are the blooms. How beautiful is that? This is gonna be great. I can't wait to have that little fairy tale fill back here with hummingbirds and whatnot's growing back here. We get lightning bugs. I think that's cute. So now we're going into my other part of my character where I like that whimsical fairy tale type stuff. Anyway, you can see here we put in the mulch, and if you watched how we did that, it looks like it's laying right there. It just transitioned so well in there with that little gap that we put in there. And if you missed what I'm talking about, feel free to just kind of rewind. It's a short video, but we basically dug down, came at an angle, removed the soil, and then it keeps it from falling back into your grass. Not all the time, but it will. And then of course we'll come back here. I know you can see some of the background. We'll come back here and mulch it on mulch day. This was basically, I picked up this honeysuckle, and then I was like, I seen they had some bags of ripped bags of mulch out there for $1. So I took advantage of that, and I thought, well, this will be a good. And then you can see, here's one of the things that same way with those planters the other day on my garden tour video. No, prior to the garden tour. I think we were doing we were doing another project back there anyways, about 2 videos ago. I kept forcing those planters, and those saucers, they didn't work. And I was forcing it and it just wasn't happy. So I kept moving them and sliding them, and let's go with A, or let's go with B, let's go C. And all along, they just didn't belong there, right? They outgrew that space, and the space outgrew them. And so it was a happy little accident. So we'll find somewhere else to go in the garden. The reason why I bring that up is same way with this. You saw where the grass line in the beginning of the video was kind of wore out and not well manicured right there. Some of it had to do with some of the plants that had grown up and flopped over last season, so it blocked out the sun, therefore the grass didn't grow there. But then instead of going back and getting instead of going back there and getting grass or replanting, all I did was take advantage of that style. So we just reshaped this. Now it just gives it so much definition, and it's so nice to see that. So sometimes we overthink things. Sometimes it's just a matter of going, oh, let me take advantage of this happy little accident. So that's where we are at. So I'm happy with it. We will paint our home soon, not me personally, but we'll have our home painted, and then our sprinkler system will, pipes and stuff, will kind of blend in. So that will help kind of disguise what we're doing back here. I don't want you to focus on so much the window and this and the water hose holder, and we'll get those colors all blended in, and then over time, like I said, this black lace is going to block that off. Once we get it all brown and all this is cohesive, it will be blocked out, and so that will help as we come through here. And this is just an amazing view right here. And so that's why I keep thinking, okay, let me get this black lace grown up over here, create a little archway, work with the branches, and I can style it out really nice. And then the way these hostas, I think those are guacamole hostas, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna say they are, but I think that's what they are. Feel free to correct me, I'll get you a closer view. Someone may have them. They're absolutely gorgeous. In fact, this line of border stones right through here is hidden under there. If you recall on the cleanup videos earlier in spring, I moved them out, and now it seems like I need to move them out further. And the reason why I move them out is because whenever I go to weed eat through here and mow, I don't run them over. But this is an absolutely gorgeous view. You see how it's winding. You can't even see the little dwelling back there that I've created. Don't ask me what we're doing with it back there. I don't know. I built it. Our thoughts and energy will go into doing more to it later on down the road. Probably not this year. It's just, I like to do things, and if I run out of something to do, I'll create some madness like this. But look at this view. Oh my gosh. The enthusiasm in my voice is because when you can create something without having that knowledge and design background and stuff, it's amazing. Even if you do have the knowledge and all that, it's just fun. We've got, I think this is a flare hydrangea, and one more sitting right on the other side of the 2 azaleas. They're just about out of bloom. That's why they probably look like they're thirsty, but the blooms are about out. We've got a Japanese maple. This is a blood good. It fits what we're doing here. Then right here, this is, can't remember if this is a bobo or a limelight. Either way, I get very minimal blooms, and I'm surprised if it blooms at all, because that gets 0 sun. We've got the Leyland cypress right above us. We got a whole wall of them, and so it gets literally no sun at all. So if it blooms, it's just the luck of the draw. I think this is a Patriot hosta, and this is Blue Angels, right? 2 or 3 of them right there, Blue Angels. And then I think I'll put it up if not. And then we've got your typical daylily. We've got a rhododendron. This is the one that was back behind the pond. Then I have another rhod over there, another daylily. I'm not a fan of daylilies anymore. In the beginning, I was a super fan of them, but now that I have so much shade in the garden, once they bloom, that's it. Then I have a little wicker basket right here that will hold a planter. I think that'll be fun. We can add a pop of color in there. What are you thinking? Some reds, or, yeah, I'm thinking reds. Red, or I don't even know if it's yellow. Then we have the golden smoke bush right here. Back in the far background, that's in the backyard, and that is a maple tree. And then this is one of those honeysuckle bushes that are super invasive. Someone gave that to me in my beginning years and said, here's a lilac bush, and it was like a foot tall, maybe 2 limbs, because I was just learning to garden, and they're like, yeah, this is a lilac bush. My wife's like, oh, they smell so great, let's get it. So I planted it. Like, that's not that's not what I thought it was. So anyways, it works because it keeps shade and keeps the wind coming off the house. Our patio's right back there, and so it protects a lot. Yes, they're super invasive, but they're all over the place. Anyway, what a great and fun addition right here. We'll just continue to push the narrative back here. This is so fun. You know what's funny is I always show the backyard, and I never actually get up here and show our front landscape, but it's probably because it's a typical landscape, but it's just fun. I posted it on my Instagram. Our garden is a lot like a mullet. It's like business in the front and party in the back. So not offending anybody with the mullet, I'm just saying that's kind of what we're doing here. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thank you guys for watching another video. Hopefully this gives you enough inspiration. If you've got some extra logs laying around, or you're about to just transition something, you're not quite sure what you want to do, you want to block off a window, you want to block off the air conditioner, something so simple as that little piece right there can just, you know, make the difference. So what do you say? Get out there, find something that you can repurpose, go to the store, find you something broken, something scattered, give it a chance, and then and who knows, maybe the end result will be as beautiful as this area right here. So that being said, we will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye now.